Welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry. Uh, I actually don't know if you can hear me or not. Please let me know if you can hear me. I don't know if my sound is back. So I'm gonna wait till somebody let me know if you can hear me. Okay, can you hear me? Elizabeth, it's not morning here. It's night. Okay, you can hear me? Are you sure? Okay. Honestly, I think I'm gonna call it a night because I'm really tired. Yeah. I'm looking at the questions that I have. So the sound is on, right? But I don't know if people understood that I was going to come back. Oh, thank you. No, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong, BDS demon. What happened is I have a block on my apps, and I have a lock um on my YouTube app. So after certain hours it locks, and when I unlock it, it unlocks but without the sound. So yeah, it's just this is just how I control to not spend too much time on my apps. So after sometimes they lock, and I don't want to change it because it really keeps me in check, during the day. All my apps are locked. So oh, with your paragraphs, no, I don't mind it because it gives a good discussion. I care about I appreciate people who care, who write thoughtful comments. So don't feel bad. If I'm in the mood, not in the mood, or I cannot discuss something, I will give a very brief answer or answer next time. So no, I prefer thoughtful comments than, "Hi, where are you from? What is your name?" Uh, you know, so those are all good topics. I really appreciate you you know supporting the stream and writing thoughtful comments. So, and they are relating generally to what we talk about. So anyway, I just want to give a few thoughts. So I really, it's interesting. I feel like I need to open another channel, like one channel be for dating, for men and women dynamics, and classy ways of communicating, and another channel talking about social events, because I feel that it's not always the best mix, and algorithm doesn't always like it, but I'm so passionate about so many things at the same time. Just for those who are crazy, this is not even a pop. It's a pop like. It's just a drink so I don't get completely dehydrated. I don't drink alcohol, especially. I mean, I can have a social drink once in a blue moon, but it won't be on camera. Not that I need to explain myself, but just for those who are, for those on the back. Yes, on this channel, since I am from Eastern Europe, and when I came into United States, I saw very weird imbalance between masculine and feminine. I find most women in America are very masculine. I'm sorry to say this, but even women who are well dressed, even women who are well put together and look feminine, there's still a lot of them are still very masculine. And then where I live, in the middle of nowhere, women don't even try to put themselves together. They don't even try to um, enjoy the womanhood. So that is very concerning. And one thing about Candace Owens that I do not appreciate that much is that in her delivery, she's extreme. Yes, she's very sharp. She's very clear. But in her delivery, she's extremely masculine. She's very masculine woman. I don't know. Actually, what do you think about the videos that she made recently when she was talking about her meeting with Erica? It's actually the first video where I saw her smiling. It's almost like she was more at peace when she came to retell or share about her meeting with Erica. She was very different. She didn't have that, very masculine, very kind of aggressive approach. Yeah, everybody's saying this. Everybody's saying that she's selling out. Everybody says that now they can trust her. But her demeanor changed a lot. Do you guys agree? Even just from a emotional intelligence. Well, does your emotional intelligence alert you that she was so extremely aggressive, and she was so masculine. She's always very masculine, very fast, and very masculine, and very dominating in her deliveries. And I sometimes think it's so strange, because I cannot imagine her dynamic with her husband, because her husband feels like, I don't watch his podcast or anything, but I cannot imagine. uh he must know the soft side of her, or maybe they have a reverse dynamic, because he seems to be from far like very sweet and soft. I don't know if he is soft. I don't know if they have a reverse dynamic. Sometimes relationship work in a reverse dynamic when a woman is masculine, but then man needs to be very feminine. So the dominant state of a woman, if it's masculine, the man must be feminine, because if both are super masculine, they're gonna be colliding. I appreciate the times that she, spends researching, but her energy changed so much. Like I didn't watch the whole episode. I only watched just very little, but she was all smiley after she talked to Erica, but she didn't really deliver much of information, at least in a small piece that I watched. She did have a different glow and a different smile on her face. I've never seen her like this. I've never. Maybe she was happy that she dodged the bullet. I don't know. I really don't know. Unsovereign citizen 69 says we need more women, more modern women like yourself. Thank you, unsovereign citizen. I not be so humble and say yes. I would love to see more women that taking pride in being a woman. I completely agree with that. I would like to see women that are not disconnected with their nature. Yes. It's not about being perfect. It's not about copying somebody. It's not about makeup. It's not about jewelry as precisely. It's about the love in being a woman, and having self-respect, and yes, having taking pride in your taking pride in yourself, taking pride in you as a woman, have standards, all of this. um let's see. It's funny about Candace Owens. What, when I started watching Candace Owens, I started watching her in 2012, when nobody really knew her. By accident, I find her content because I followed conservative leaders, and I especially, I must say, I love seeing uh certain people in America becoming conservative, Latinas, African American, Black, Eastern European, just different ethnicities and immigrants, and also other ethnicities that Democrats always take for granted, like Black community, Hispanic community. I find these people extremely smart, and I was just discovering that there is a her channel name was Red Pill Black. Who watched Candace Owens? What, oh my gosh, I don't want to think how many years ago, 13, 14 years ago. Yeah, nobody knew her, of course, but she started making like funny skits and talking about, she has quite a persona, and it's interesting because she really blossomed into, she's a lot more she's so polished right now compared to back then, and it was when she started turning point, but it goes even back. So I knew her channel from 2012. I don't know. So right now she's a completely different brand, supposedly with similar ideas, but I think it is important to find those people that you truly align with. I find that um, it is very important to not try to just, no matter how that you like somebody or you find them, you find them influential. I think it's so important to have your own mind and analyze, don't not being blind, and almost be a little bit, for me personally, I really don't want to be anybody's fan. I feel like you should honor your own mind, if you know what I mean, your own analytics. Thank you for the flower. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know who sent it. TL. Thank you so much for the flower. And by the way, I'm gonna tomorrow look at my laptop. There's so many comments on my first live today when I went live, but I couldn't read them. So I'm going to take a moment and read what you guys were writing. Thank you, TL. I appreciate it. The whole Charlie Kirk affair is about taking control of the Christian right. I don't know. I think that it's a devastating event, and I don't think that we should close our eyes because it's just it's too much. Things like this want me to, think about what I wanna where I wanna be in the future. You wanna live on some island and eating bananas and mangoes, or move somebody with the fields and mountains, because I don't know, there is something very sickening about this. Charlie Kirk did not deserve this. He does not deserve. He had so much life to live. Yeah, double tap. Thank you. Yes, if you double tap on the screen, it means that you put a heart, and when you put a heart, you know that I'll come back sooner than later. The more subscription I see after every live, the more hearts, the more that I will come back, because I don't know how often I can live stream. I have some personal events that take my time. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate you. No, I'm not in Moscow. I'm in US. Uh Steven, you are as always such a gentleman. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you for supporting my my late night live. Yes, I live in US right now, but I don't know. I just don't know. I really like state of Montana. I visited Montana now 5 or almost 6 years ago. It was a very special circumstance. Thank you so much for the super chat or for the 100. Thank you for the flower. Thank you, Shannon. Um, Montana is like living somewhere else. It felt to me, all those parks, mountains. I felt a lot of peace there. I think if you're somewhere out west or you're somewhere on the ocean and you just somewhere in more remote areas, you can have a decent life. But this all this politics really eats your energy. It is so true. I have been staying away from social media. I have not been posting anything about my life, and I feel a lot more secure about this way. Um, and I try not to scroll. I try to watch, if I there is something interesting. But I feel like a lot of companies and media companies, they just want our attention. They just sucking out the life out of us with all this information. We used to not know all of this. We used to only know very little. And I think people were reporting a higher happiness level, with that. uh Shannon K. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you again. Let's see who's that. Stephen Dover, thank you so much for supporting the live stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is where you are at. So absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. So guys, who you have more, who you can relate more, who you support more, Erica Kirk or Candace Owens? I'm just actually curious. Who do you think is in the right? Thank you, Stephen. Stephen is saying, thank you for the heart, M. James. Veronica, you are a wonderful example of what a lady should be. It is so nice to see you again. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you. Yes, and my other dream is to make a ladies channel and just talk to ladies all day, about our little things and secrets. Oh, thank you. Um, Elizabeth, thank you so much for being a member for 29 months. I'll get back to you tomorrow, okay? I'm cooked. I'm absolutely cooked. I had, I think you've seen I have some family events, so I'm going to follow up with something that I wanted for Raya, but um I know she's probably leaving soon, but I hope she have a beautiful vacation and uh Merry early Christmas. I will check out a few things and get back to you. Thank you for the links and everything. I will have something nice coming for her. I'm sorry. I just it's interesting. When I'm with my family, I'm not even responding my phone. I'm not checking my phone. I'm not doing anything on the internet. This is just my principle. So I think that our energy is such an expensive tool. We don't even realize this because it's like the whole world is actually, you don't know this, but the whole world is fighting for your attention. Whether it's to buy something online, whether it's to respond a message, whether it's to call somebody, whether it's to watch a show. So sometimes for me, I'm not always very good with um how to say this, with refocusing. I struggle with this, so sometimes I have to take a complete hiatus to get things done, and then I respond in everything. And a lot of times people take it personally. They think that I don't want to talk to them, or they're upset, or never just understand that it's not about you. People have different priorities. I find it very rude when I'm with people. I'm never on my phone. Unless we're doing a live together or unless that's an agreement, I'm never on my phone when I'm out with people. And I'm a very much an introvert, but when I'm out in public, I'm extremely engaging. So I'm an introvert, but I'm not a socially awkward person. So when I'm on public, I'm engaging. And I'm very, very engaging. So people think that I'm really, really extroverted. All right. Somebody says, please marry me. Hello, David. Uh, somebody says, I think they're both a bit strange. Okay. Uh, PT says yes. I don't know what you said. We're saying yes to. I think that everything is fighting for our attention. So yes, by the way, I appreciate you having you here while everything is fighting for your attention. I think my favorite topic is really emotional intelligence and certain things and dating, communication, men and women dynamics. You can read about my channel in the description of it. Okay, we have some crazies here. How do you know Erica is going to remain as humble as she's now? I don't know if she's humble. I think she was trying to be non-reactive, but I find it very strange because when you had such an unimaginable tragedy, you have the right to know the truth. You have the right to demand the truth. And in first couple of months, she only now started saying that I want answers. I want, I. She started to demand answers, but honestly, I have not heard much from her in the beginning. She was more focusing on about podcasts, about Charlie Kirk's show. She was more focusing about selling books and T-shirts and whatever else, and becoming CEOs and anything else. I don't really find her humble. I think she's trying to create this image of a conservative woman, conservative wife, or conservative widow. But again, the problem with this, why does she need to become a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company in the first 3 days? First 3 days after something you can never be prepared for without taking a break from all of this, it just doesn't make sense. And my main concern, okay, I want to ask men, I have some military men here. I have two questions. Is it possible not to have security, not to have ambulance, not to have police on the side when you have such a massive event? And the second question is, how do you not fire your chief, your security company that obviously failed you? How do you not fire a security company that had your husband publicly executed? How do you roll with them? You would think that they would be immediately fired, immediately, because they failed to the extent of, I mean, it couldn't get any worse to what had happened. How do you keep paying them on a payroll when they had completely failed the mission? I don't understand that. And why, and the third question, why do you see a person, I'm not a Candace fan, Owens, or Candace Owens fans, I'm not anyone fans, really. Why do you take it as a threat when somebody is trying to find answers? Why is that a threat? Why couldn't you go on actual life, on open life, and go over the facts and correct the wrong ideas and answer all the questions live without, what I notice about Erica when she goes on different interviews? Her interviews are scripted. You can say she practiced those questions. You can tell everything is pre-scripted. Even when she was saying stop, you know, you can tell all of that stuff she knew it was coming and she playing the role. She's. I feel that Erica is becoming this person that is very good at putting a theater where when she could simply come on a live TV and debunk all the things. I don't know if she could debunk it, but if she could, why wouldn't she just come out and dismantle one thing after another that has been said about TPUSA? There are financial scandals there too. But I just find it very weird from the point of a wife that just lost a husband that is not obsessed with getting the truth, with getting justice, and with welcome any type of research. You would think that the wife, the grieving widow, so to speak, who wants to know the truth, that she would welcome anybody who is researching, and she would not try to hide or defend or protect anybody, even if it's her team, because she needs to know the truth. The only time people are defensive is that they have something to hide. We all know that. Erica Kirk is acting very peculiar, yes. Do you think it would affect you in any way if you gained a lot of followers and become very popular? Uh, I think it always affects you because you can be uh, if you really become very popular, people always clip you, people do all kinds of things, but I don't know if that's something that I would really want. You when you have a small niche, it's really a wonderful thing because you can be 100% yourself. I think you probably could be 100% yourself, probably even if you were to become popular, but I don't know. I think it's more important to have a content that aligns with you, and even if you have, and having a tight community, I think it's more important. But if you really that lucky, talented, smart with marketing, I definitely think that things change when you grow for larger audience. It's just inevitable. It changes. Like, for example, I was watching, when I watched Candace in 2012, when she was very, very young. I think she was in her 20s. Yeah. She was so cute. You can go to her channel and go to her oldest video, Um, one thing you can tell about her though is that she built herself. She really started from scratch. You can see her videos, her old videos. She started from scratch and she persisted, and she worked her way all the way up. But she worked very hard for it. Again, I'm not her fan, or I'm not her hater. I'm neither. But you can always go to those first videos and see where somebody started. It's actually quite interesting. Yeah, so I've discovered her in 2012, and I used to watch some things. I just like seeing people waking up to the woke mind virus. That was all very satisfying. Okay, I hope I didn't miss any super chats. Okay, let's see. No, I didn't. That was Elizabeth. Okay, actually, I did. Elizabeth, please say hi to Raya. I hope you have a beautiful day today. I'm gonna work my magic. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you so much. Thank you for being a member for so long. Okay, yes, we all need a break. PT is demon. We all need to reset. Yeah, I need to reset all the time. The problem with me when I started resetting, I never want to come back. Like, I need to force myself to come back. This is the thing about feminine energy. You know, when you fulfill your cup, the your ambition becomes secondary or third. You know, when I'm with my family, when I'm with my close friends, when I'm at home, when I'm cooking, when I'm lounging around, when I'm, just doing the things, just you just don't ever, you honestly, you don't ever want to come back. You feel like you have so much self-validation and satisfaction, and you feel so content, you don't ever want to come back. But I don't want to drop the channel because I feel that it's a wonderful way of self-expression, and yes, so there is that. Thank you, Justin. You're so sweet. Thank you guys for the compliments. Any compliment after 10 p.m. is has double of its weight. Oh my gosh, we have some preachers here. Where's your channel? You can preach on your channel. I recommend it. Yeah, yes, you know what? This is true, Matt. Matt is saying Erica seems more interested in money and the brand. The family for her is more the brand. You know, I've also noticed that. She was, even in the first couple of days, she was really pushing the TPUSA, the brand, the company. And at first I thought, she wants to continue her husband's life's work, but then when I really looked at it, it really felt that she's using the moment to promote the brand, to buy, to sell the merch, the books, the events. It really feels very much like a major money campaign. I mean, like, how to say this, not money campaign, like funding. That she's not showing with her behavior that she's a grieving widow and a wife and a mother. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying into all of this. And the way, so she cannot forgive Candace Owens for trying to dig and find some facts and pay attention to inconsistencies that we have been lied to the entire time, but she forgives the alleged killer right away. That's just interesting. And by the way, why does she forgive him? We don't even know if he's guilty. And when somebody asks her if she believes that Tyler Robinson is guilty, if he's the one who took her husband's life, she said, "I trust my team," which I felt was very weird. What does trusting your team has to do with the alleged person, with the alleged unaliver of your husband? What your team has to do? Your team is not US court system. So why are you bringing up your team when people ask you if you believe in the official theory of who was that person that shot at Charlie? And she says, "I trust my team." I found that, I don't know if any influencer commented on that, but I thought that was unrelated. You can trust your team, but they didn't ask you about your team. They asked you if you believe that the alleged unaliver was the one. And your team is not, again, your team is not a court, is not a judge. So why would you trust them? Are they running the trial? So that was a weird answer to me. I think that trusting your team should have nothing to do with knowing who was behind that, you know. And I have hard time believing that 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 person that they pick, you know, the Tyler Robinson person, that I don't know if he can even drive a car. I mean, he looks very weird. He looks like very lost, and he doesn't look like a professional, you know, sniper. He looks like a just a person that they found, to me, to match the narrative, you know, of this LGBTQ on a spectrum people. You know, I don't know. I hope that we will all know one day, you know. That would be nice. Anyway, tomorrow we're gonna have some warm stream with some music and talking about love. Yes, but so I agree, Matt. I agree with that. Yeah, she seems to be more interested in brand than finding the truth about her husband, that nurturing her children, taking time off. How many of us actually need a time off? I don't know when this happened. Charlie Kirk is the first public person for who I really um grieved and cried like he was my family member. And I know there are thousands, hundreds, and millions of people who feel this way. Just because of realization of what happened, that he was on a mission, he was a genuine person, and he wasn't even officially a politician. He was running a movement, and this happened to him in a daylight. I think it was a wake up call for very many of us. You know, we all got a little bit too comfortable. But I'm still not okay with it. I still cannot fully accept it, I think. Because you know there are so few people who are doing such mission with such open heart. Most of them are so corrupt. I must say, on both sides. People are very, very corrupt. He didn't have to go to those colleges, you know. He was a multi-millionaire. He could send some young representative of his company and let them handle college debates, you know, talking to those not the most bright crayons in a box, you know, but he took his time to do it. He didn't have to. Yes, it's true they're both profiting, but you know, they both have businesses, so that's what you do with business. You try to profit, so you can't necessarily blame people. You know, Candace doing her podcast, you know, she has so many, you know, millions of people watching her. But it was her business to begin with for a long time now, because I told you I've been watching her since 2012. I don't really watch her now as I used to watch her before. No, I've watched some parts of it, just not all of it, you know, and not always. The whole thing is very fishy, yes. She literally met Charlie at a job interview. Like, what are we talking about? Well, you know, you never know. She might meet him at a job interview, but you know that Erica was she is 5 or 6 years older than him. And do you know that she definitely knows the art of seduction? She can play many roles. She has a lot more experience, and Charlie was a nice guy, but I think so there is a possibility that she was after him, but she came to the job interview. I don't know this. I don't know if that's connected. I'm not gonna say that's 100% true because I don't know, but she seemed to be like a very strategic woman, and there is a chance that she planned it all alone or somebody helped her to plan. But you know, this is just a thought, because her actions does not align with a loving and conservative wife, to my opinion, and I very much hope to be wrong. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know who that is, but so sweet. Let me see. So many comments, guys. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate you all. Are you a heavy drinker? No, I'm not a heavy drinker, and I don't look sick. It's just very late here. My eyes are red. My eyes are red because I'm tired, but I felt bad that I didn't go live for a whole week or more. And I don't have to go anywhere tomorrow morning, so I can sleep in as long as I want. And no, I'm not a heavy drinker, but thank you for the super chat. It is 1 a.m. here, so if that will help to answer your question. If you have any more questions, go full ahead. But thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, guys. Oh my gosh. I don't know. So I'm surprised there is so many people. We have like we almost had close to 200 people so late. I never go so late usually. Actually, yeah, okay, somebody says that you're really sick of me, so why are you here? You're not his wife. You don't get to decide how she reacts. She had the weight of the world. She didn't have the luxury to grieve like you or me. No, actually, she did have the luxury to grieve because she has a company and people to run it. Anybody who has millions of dollars has the luxury to grieve because they have people they can hire or that already hired that have experience. What makes you qualified to run a company if she's supposed to was a home wife and she has babies at home? No nurse, no grandmother, no auntie cannot replace a mother in the times of loss. She chose to brand the company rather than take your children and hide away for a couple months and put a temporary CEO on a company. When you have that amount of power and unlimited amount of resources, that this is where you can allow yourself to grieve, not when you are not knowing how you're going to pay mortgage next week because your husband didn't have life insurance. This is where you don't have luxury to do anything and you have no family usually, your very small family, she has her TPUSA family. She has tons of people, to supposedly help her. So I think that you are wrong, and if you are sick of anybody, you're welcome to drop off the life. Well, I didn't know so many people are up at this time. Ah, I'm not saying that this is you don't get to decide. Well, you don't get to say your opinion. You how stupid is this comment? What do you mean you don't get to decide? You follow logic. If a woman tells everybody that she's a stay-home mom, she has so many clips saying about the children, about conservatism. A conservative woman isn't supposed to leave her children and go and brand a company. The funny thing is, for the children, for 1 year old and 4 year old, there is no amount of millions. There is nothing. There is no jewels, no millions that cannot replace their mother. If you run in a company, you cannot be nursing a 1 year old, putting him or her to bed and run a multi-million dollar company with all these people and go on these podcasts. You cannot do it, so why do you tell us about being conservative about you? I understand if your children were a lot bigger, but also if your children were a lot bigger children take a death of a parents even worse. If both of your children were 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, yes, they can walk on themselves, they can dress themselves, but they're hurting even more. All I'm saying that she have a very weird priorities, all these meetings, all these podcasts. Why did she have to become a CEO in 3 days? See, that's just very weird. It's just doesn't align. And why she takes everything with such defense? Yeah, she's not middle class. I'm sorry. She's upper 1%. And I'm not saying this with hate. I don't have any personal, I don't know her. We are just strategizing. We're trying to understand what is going on. We're just trying to understand how long, but how long we're not gonna hear the truth or know the truth. I don't think we ever know the truth, if I'm honest. But she, what rubs me the wrong way the most, and that she's extremely defensive. The person that wants to know the truth, they wouldn't be so defensive. They would be like, okay, they wouldn't be. She said that Candace is trying to destroy Charlie's legacy, and I'm thinking, you try to just why? How do you destroy someone's legacy by asking questions? How do you destroy someone's legacy by trying to get to the bottom of things? That's not destroying the legacies. It's trying to get why we have so many inconsistencies. That's all. Oh. Men class 3, you are really one of the most toxic people on internet, okay? Nobody cares about what you have to say. You can open your own channel and see how well you are going to do. You just really in a hate mode. You can have your opinion, nobody telling you. I'm not saying that you should agree, but you just so negative. You can tell that you are just swimming in negativity. That's all you got. um Yes, the internet never sleeps. I didn't know I sleep. That's why my eyes are red. Oh, you want me to block you? I will block you if you want. I have no idea who you are, and it honestly doesn't matter. Oh, it's 10 p.m. on the West Coast. Very nice. Hey, Sabia. So great to see you. So great to see you. Thank you for stopping by. We are attacked by trolls today. I mean, not really attacked. The thing is, when I tell people, it's not really, we are not personally attacking anybody. We're trying to understand why we are lied to and what actually happened. I would like to know, as many of us, we would like to know. But Sabias, thank you so much. And I know you like my girly content. I really wish that I could start a channel for women only, but I'm so busy right now with my life. I don't feel like I want to spend more time on the internet. I really don't. Yes, thank you, Danny Barton. I agree. You're so right. She's more of a man than a conservative woman. Yes. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not like you don't have money for a mortgage or this is really a horrible thing when you're a normal person. Normal person means lower income person. You have no savings, you have no life insurance. Maybe your husband even, maybe he paid the mortgage, but he wasn't that, and suddenly he dies, and you a stay-at-home mom, you were counting on his salary, you don't have any savings, maybe uh, there are some financial things, and you literally need to feed your family. You need to keep roof over your head, you need to be able to pay all the bills, and you have absolutely nobody. I've seen it happening. So yeah, this is where you are grieving differently. You don't have time. You may cry at night, but you have to figure out how to do it all. And usually community come and help if you have community. Yes, the only for entertainment, there is something about Erica's eyes that screams guilty. Do you agree? Yes, she has very strange expressions, and you can tell that some of the stuff that she was kind of rehearsing it. Like her latest, when they ask her like, what would you say the podcaster Candace Owens, and she when she did that stop, you can say it. It was very theatrical, and she practiced it, and the questions were scripted. She saw the script before the interview. I don't like that at all. But yes, I think that she is feeling very guilty because looks she looks down a lot. But there is something that is energetically feels off, and there is definitely a concern about. She must. I really. I'm. We There was no trial yet. We don't know, but I feel like definitely hiding the truth. Definitely, because again, when you have nothing to hide and people, like right now, I have this troll in the comment, and then sometimes I have a lot of them. I mean, they entitled to feel this way, but it's whatever. So, but you're not gonna get super defensive. For example, you're not going to say you're threatening someone's legacy, you're threatening Charlie's legacy, because when somebody wants to get in the bottom of things, they're not threatening anything. They're just trying to find the answers. Why does it bother you? Why aren't you trying to find it? My question to Erica is, why aren't you, digging the dirt, looking through FBI lies, looking through inconsistencies, looking through people reacting weird on a scene? Why there was no ambulance? Again, why there was no police? Why his body was moved? I am from Eastern Europe. Even in our countries, it's not allowed. If there is a criminal scene, if there is something going on, even accident, you're not supposed to move the body, touch the body. You're not supposed to do anything. There must be ambulance, police car. They usually put a tape, and everything must remain as it was found, so they can measure, and they can, if there was no cameras, they can try to recreate things, right? So it doesn't make any sense. Like, none of it makes sense. Why he was loaded in a van? I've never seen, living in the United States for so long, I've never seen anybody with health emergency or, God forbid, accident or criminal. I've never seen a criminal scene. I only seen accidents or health emergencies. There is no way you are even allowed to put a person in a van and not an authorized vehicle. So you cannot help but wonder what is actually happened. And when Erica was giving her first speech after a couple of days, she was thanking first responders where there was no first responders. I mean, there is just a lot of questions, and her energy is very much off. I completely agree. There is something she feels. She's. I feel that she's really trying to project confidence. She's really trying to project like class and thoughtfulness, but she's not 100% authentic when she does it. There is certain like wobbling. Yeah, she isn't believing herself. It looks more of an act, like she's recycling those scenes. And again, why couldn't they be live? Why 4.5 hours conversation had to have been private? Why not public? So if you have nothing to hide, why not to have a public? This whole affair was public, you know? angry like was guilty as hell for a lot of things. Yes, it's just that she's trying to protect and defend TPUSA, but how do you know? You may not know what they were doing. Maybe you were not on it, for example, right? But at TPUSA, when they were trying to explain the weird reaction of Mikey McCoy, they were all looking down. The timelines didn't match. They said he called Erica, then turned out he called his wife, then turned out he called his dad. Like, it's just, there's so many like mini lies and it's just, it doesn't have a logical explanation with time, and her reactions are very very weird. Not to mention, I mean, the choice of clothing. Why would you wear tight leather pants for official places where this is really close for the bar? And why would you put your hands in the hair of another man publicly who is also married, who is also vice president? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You don't grieve differently with putting your hair. I mean, okay, if you're a woman 18 plus, you know exactly what it means to put your hand in the hair of a man, okay? I don't want to go too deep in it. I hope I know that my public is pretty much way 18 plus, right? So how many times you put, ladies in the chat and even the trolls in the chat, how many times you were grieving and you put your hand rubbing man's scalp and into his hair? We all know it's a very